Brooke Anderson in Hollywood with big news breaking today, the Elton cover-up. There's absolute outrage today over the apparent censorship of the brand new cover of Us Weekly magazine featuring Elton John with his partner and newborn son. The offense? An Arkansas supermarket put a shield over the cover that featured a picture of Elton, his partner, and their son. The controversy exploded around the world today, from the morning talk shows to religious leaders to magazine editors. The big question today, is the cover really offensive? This little flap of plastic is causing international outrage today. It all started when a customer at an Arkansas store tweeted this photo to Ellen DeGeneres and other big celebrities. It shows a family shield over the brand new Us Weekly magazine cover featuring Elton John and his husband with their newborn baby boy.
What's fascinating about this is that, you can't see two men who have been together for 17 years and their little baby boy, but you can watch the Jersey Shore or Teen Moms.
Family shields are usually used to cover magazines with sexually suggestive covers that might be too racy for children. One Harp food store put that same shield on Elton's photo because they had received complaints. The reaction? Worldwide outrage.
The store was definitely surprised by this reaction.
The ladies of The View had a lot to say about the matter.
I mean, in a way, that sign is more of a protest than a protection in some ways, correct?
That's right. It's a protest against homosexuality.
That's right. But Harp Foods tells Showbiz Tonight it was one manager in one store responding to some complaints. They say, quote, "In this case, our store manager received some complaints and, as has been our custom, placed the shield over the cover of the magazine. Our true intention is not to offend anyone in our stores, and this incident happened at just one of 65 locations, which, when brought to our attention, we reversed." But Us Magazine West Coast Bureau Chief Melanie Bromley tells Showbiz Tonight there's absolutely nothing wrong with the cover.
There's nothing. It's nothing. The two people who are completely in love and who have had a child together and who are going to be incredible parents.
Showbiz Tonight can tell you this cover might represent a happy family to some, but to others it shows an unacceptable lifestyle choice.
I think that it's very hard for me to sit here in New York and judge what a local community thinks. You have to remember that America is so large and full of such diverse opinions.
And it's those opinions that caused major sparks this week on CNN's Piers Morgan Tonight. Watch what happens when conservative Christian pastor Joel Osteen responds to questions about his stance on homosexuality and Elton John.
They're going to think, who are you to call them a sinner?
Yeah.
But why are they sinners in your eyes?
Well, it's strictly back to what the Scripture says. It comes back to the Scripture. I'm not the judge. God didn't tell me to go around judging everybody.
I'm not so sure, though, you see. I think you are a kind of judge, and I think you can't abrogate that responsibility. I think because of your influence.
We have gay people that come to our church and sit there. We have people from different faiths, and so it's an issue that, it's a hard issue, and I don't know that I fully understand it.
And Showbiz Tonight can tell you Elton John doesn't seem to understand why it's such a big deal. At a private fundraiser in California this week, Elton spoke out against the criticism against his lifestyle, saying, "As a gay man, I think I have it all. I have a wonderful career, a wonderful life. I have my health. I have a partner of 17 years, and I have a son. And you know what? I don't have everything because I don't have the respect of people like the church and people like politicians who tell me that I am not worthy or that I am less than because I am gay."
I think this has even took Elton John by surprise.
What's most surprising is just how passionately both sides are arguing over this simple cover. But Pop Eater's Rob Shooter tells Showbiz Tonight this all-out debate isn't a bad thing.
Ultimately, what this cover has done has given us all an opportunity to talk about this. I think this debate can be nothing but good.
So has the Elton John magazine cover up really done nothing but good, or has it uncovered a disturbing reality? The supermarket did say they uncensored the cover after reviewing it, thank goodness. But somebody there obviously made an enormous error in judgment in blocking it to begin with. I want to bring in Jane Velez-Mitchell, host of Issues with Jane Velez-Mitchell here on HLN. It's sad to both of us, Jane, that any bigotry exists in this country at all. Both of us think it is obviously insane that the magazine was covered up. But should at least we be heartened by the fact that, as far as we know, out of an entire nation, this isolated incident, which was quickly corrected, thank goodness, only happened in one supermarket in a little town somewhere.
Well, AJ, I have to say kudos to the shopper who saw this, was offended by it, took a photo of it, and then made it viral because she really took action. And that's what people have to do when they see something that is bigoted, whether it's racism, sexism, or homophobia. They need to act. And
Yes.
this woman acted. And that's the great thing about our culture today. You can't get away with it when there is the internet. It will come out.
Yeah, you can't get away with anything.
Yeah.
I want to bring in Ben Ferguson. Ben is a conservative radio host, and even though the conservative word is in your title there, Ben, I have to believe that you even believe that it is ridiculous that this thing wound up with that shield on it, fortunately to be later taken away from that shield.
Look, you know, the reality of this is it was one store. And I think we're all overreacting. It is one store at the end of the day. Did it offend me, the cover? No, it didn't offend me. But at the same time, if people were offended there, why can't the other side of the issue respect the fact that they were offended by it? I mean, remember, whether we like it or not, 70% plus of every state, including California, where gay marriage was on the ballot just a couple years ago, it failed when people went in the voting block. So if somebody did find this offensive... Oh, let me finish.
It's
you can say that all you want to.
What if I was offended by having a person of color on a cover and me saying, I don't want a person of color on the cover? Please cover that up. Does that give me the right to have it done? Of course not.
This is a classic argument. You know what? We want people to be tolerant of a lifestyle, but if you don't like our lifestyle or you disagree with our lifestyle, even if it's a respectful way, you automatically throw out the words bigot, homophobic, and racism and everything else.
That's because it is.
What about the point that Jane
you can't do it in a respectful manner.
Ben, what about the point that Jane, I think, just very eloquently said? What if it was a person of color and somebody happened to be offended by the fact that there was a cover of a magazine with a person of color on it and said, oh, you know, I don't want to see that. I mean, that is clear bigotry.
Look, I'll go back to the main issue here. It's in
Can
one
you answer
place.
Answer that
they
question
corrected
for me.
Hold on. No, I'll answer the question, but hear me out for a second. I think it didn't offend me, and I think it didn't offend a lot of others. I think at the end of the day, when we act like this is widespread, when it's one place, and they corrected the problem, so let's let it go at the end of the day. I mean, you can't just say that everyone thought this way. Maybe it was a couple people, and you know what? Maybe we disagree with the way they did it. I wouldn't have complained about it. I wasn't offended by it. But at the same time, I don't think it was somebody maybe it was homophobic at the same time either. We don't know who complained at the end of the day.
Well, I think to cover up a photo of two men who are celebrating something. They've been together 17 years. They're celebrating something that's very beautiful. To say you find that offensive is homophobic and it is bigoted. I'll tell you what they need to be covering up. They need to be covering up horrific violence. I go into stores all the time and I see all sorts of violence on the cover. There's no cover there. I go in and I see the denigration of women. There's no cover there.
I agree with you.
We need to focus on
I couldn't agree with you more.
If I'm in a store, if somebody doesn't like the gay lifestyle, don't be gay. But they don't have to cover up a photo of a gay couple.
And we are going to leave it there. This conversation will continue. Jane Velez Mitchell, Ben Ferguson, I thank you.